Good morning, students. Up to now, we have completed the multiplication of integers and the corresponding problems from exercise 1b. Now, we are coming to the division of integers. So, observe here, these are the rules for division of integers. They are also very easy. When both dividend and divisor are same sign, and then the quotient will always be positive integer. When both the dividend and divisor are of same sign, the quotient will always be a positive integer. Means, how can you write this? So plus 140 divided by plus 70. I am writing here, you see, plus 140 divided by plus 70. I am writing here. Division means you can write it in the form of plus 140 by plus 70. Okay, now you can cancel plus and plus here, so you can write it as again as plus 140 by 70 only. Okay, so now if you take two negative numbers of the same sign, which is minus 140 by minus 70, here also you can cancel minus and minus, you will get plus of 140 by 70. Both the denominator and numerator means here divisor and dividend are having the same sign, then the quotient will always be a positive number only, a positive integer only. So observe here, if you divide this 70, how many times it divides? 2 times, so I will get plus 2. Here also plus 2 you are getting integer. And integers, it is also and it is not possible always you have to get integer only in the divisions. And when both dividend and divisor are of different signs, then the quotient will always be a negative integer. Either here, if I am taking here minus 240 divided by 12, I am taking minus 240 divided by plus 12. Means, how can you write this? Minus 240 by plus 12, then you will get minus sign only itself. So if you divide this 12, how many times it divides? 20 times, so minus 20 you will get. And at the same time, if you divide plus 240 with by minus 12, you will get, how can you write this in the form of fraction? 240 by minus 12 plus 240 by minus 12, you will get minus 20 again. Here 12, how many times it divides? 20 times, you will get minus 21. If the dividend and divisor are of the different signs, you will get always negative sign. If the dividend and divisor are of the same sign, maybe plus or minus, you will always get plus sign only in the answer. So this is plus 2, this is also plus 2, but here you are getting minus sign. If the dividend and divisor are of different signs, you will get negative sign only. Okay, so next, so these two are the very important rules you have to remember. Next, properties of division of integers. Here also same properties we are going to learn here. So first one is the closure property. Integers are not closed under division because there is no need to get always integer only after division. Okay, so if you observe the previously I wrote 240 by 12, you are getting 20, but if you are writing some 12 by 24 like this, if you divide this, cancel 12 ones are 12, 12 twos are 24, you will get a fraction here. Fractional number you are getting. This is not an integer. This number will not belongs to integers also. So always there is no need to get integer only after division. So that's why the division, the closure property will not satisfied. So if you divide two numbers, you will not get always integer only. But if you divide 24 with 12, observe here, you will get 12 to the 24, you will get 2. This is integer only. In this condition, in this situation, you are getting integer, but here you are not getting an integer. That's why integers are not low under division. So if a divided by b, a divided by b is always not an integer. So 7 divided by 2, if you take 3.5, you will get, which is not an integer. So next property is commutative property. Commutative property means interchanging the order. Division is not commutative in integers. So already I explained in the previous problem, which is division is not interchangeable, because so here it is a divided by b, this is b divided by a. Observe here, a divided by b you are getting 1 by 2 here, b divided by b, a you are getting 2 here. So that's why a divided by b is not equal to b divided by a, like in additions and multiplications. In additions you will get a plus b is equal to b plus a, and in multiplications you will get a into b is equal to b into a, but in divisions it is not possible. A divided by is not equal to b divided by a. That's why in divisions, commutative property will not be satisfied. Okay, next going to the third, associative property. This is also not satisfied, because observe here, a divided by b divided by c is not equal to a divided by b divided by c. So if you take first two numbers, this is minus 3 by 2 divided by 4, this is minus 3 divided by 2 by 4. These two are obviously not equal if you calculate it. The next division by 1. For any integer, division by 1 gives the same number. You know, this is a natural phenomenon, which is a divided by 1 is equal to a. So minus 7 divided by 1 is equal to minus 7. 2 by 1 is equal to 2. 3 by 1 is equal to 3. Same number you will get. Next, for any integer, 0 divided by it gives 0. 0 divided by it gives 0. For example, if you divide 0 with a, you will get 0. In place of a, if I am taking minus 5, this is also 0. 0 divided by minus 5 is equal to 0. 0 divided by 2 is equal to 0. 0 divided by 7 equal to 0. But note here, but division by 0 of any integer is undefined. You cannot divide any integer with 0. This is undefined value. A divided by 0 is undefined value, but you can divide 0 with a. You can divide 0 with a, 0 by a, and you cannot divide a by 0. You cannot divide a by 0. This is undefined value, so you have to remember this. So next property, which is, so these are the properties of divisions. Next one is exercise 1C. So first one is evaluate the following, which is, there is minus 111 divided by 1. Any number you divide by 1, you will get same number. Already you learned here. This is minus 111 only. And this number is minus 3375 divided by minus 15. You are dividing the numbers which are having the same sign in the divisor and dividend. Means you will get always plus only here. So after division you will get plus 225. Plus 225 you will get, because these two are having the same sign. So minus minus will get cancelled, you will get plus sign only. Here these two numbers are having different signs, means you will get minus only. Definitely you will get minus only. Now if you divide 133 with 7, you will get 19 times. 7 19s are 130, but you will get minus sign, because these two numbers are having different signs, you will get minus. If they are having same sign, they may be plus or minus, you will get plus only. If they are having different signs, you will get minus. Those two rules you have to remember. Here also observe here, these two numbers are having different signs, so you will get minus. And dividing 546 with 91, you will get 6 here, so minus 6. So now dividing 0 with any number, you will get 0. So division by 0 you already learned here. This is division by 0. Division 0 by any number. Division of 0 by any integer, you will get 0 only. So here 0 divided by a is equal to 0. So 0 divided by minus 12 is also 0. So next minus 31 divided by minus 31. Since both the numbers are same numbers, it is divisible in one time, so you will get 1. Minus 31 ones are 1 minus 31. So you will get 1 here. But also plus 1. Even though these two are minus signs, we will get, if the two numbers are numerator and denominators are having same signs, you will get plus sign. By using that rule, you will get plus 1 here. Next, simplify the following. Next, minus 16 plus 12 divided by minus 4 plus 12. So first you have to add the numbers which are in the brackets. So adding the numbers of having different signs, you have to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, which is 16 minus 12 is 4, and put the signages in front of the bigger number, which is minus 4, divided by, and in the second bracket also you have to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, which is 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, and put the signages in front of the bigger number minus 2. Now this is the division of two negative numbers having same signs, so you will get plus 2. So if you divide 4 with 2, you will get 2 only. If you divide 4 by 2, you will get 2 only. So now 10 plus 7 divided by 1 minus 4 into 8. So here more than 2 operations are given, so you have to use BODMAS rule only. What is the BODMAS rule? Bracket of division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. Since here there are no brackets and offs here, we are subtracting from the division here. So division is in between which numbers? 7 divided by 1. So first divide 7 with 1. So you will get 7 here. So 10 plus 7 minus 4 into 8. So next, which one is the next operation? Multiplication. So multiplication is in between minus 4, in between 4 and 8. So here you should not consider minus here. This minus is the operational sign. It does not belongs to the number. So minus 4 into 8. So 4 8s are 32. Minus 32. So next, what will be the next operation here? Addition. So 10 plus 7 is 17, because plus is in between 10 and 7, which is 17 minus 32. Now last one is subtraction. So 32 minus 17, which is 17, and put the sign which is in front of the bigger number, which is minus. So minus 15. So this is minus 15. So again I am explaining on this the same problem on the board here. Listen here carefully, this is very important. Using the BODMAS rule is I have to apply this in the competitive exams also, which is 10 plus 7 divided by 1 minus 4 into 8. So observe here. So what is the BODMAS rule here? BODMAS. So here bracket of is not given here. So first you have to take division. So division is in between which numbers you have to take first. So 7 and 1. So write the 10 as it is here, plus also. So divide 7 with 1. So 1 7 are 7. Minus 4 into 8. Next, what will be the next operation here? Multiplication. So multiplication is in between 4 and 8. So you have to take up to here only. Don't see the minus sign. So write 10 plus 7 minus up to here and multiply these two. 4 8 the 32. Next, which operation you have to see here? Addition. So addition is in between 10 and 7. So 10 plus 7 is 17 minus 32. So here this is plus 17, this is minus 32. Means you are subtracting 32 from 17 means how to subtract, what is the rule for this? So first you have to convert the subtraction as the addition. So 17 plus of minus 32. So how to write this? I am changing minus sign as plus here, this plus 32 as minus 32, because I am taking the additive inverse of 32 as minus 32. Now I am adding two numbers which are having different signs. Two numbers having different signs means subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, which is 32 minus 17, which is irrespective of signs, you have to subtract. So 12 minus 7 is 5 here, this is 2 minus 1, 1, 15, and put the sign which is in front of the bigger number, which is minus 15. So this is the answer. Okay, so this is very important. Next, third one, 20 into minus 2, which is plus minus 28 divided by 7. Here also you have to use BODMAS rule. So first I am taking the division because D is coming first here. Minus 28 divided by 7 is equal to minus 4. And next one is multiplication in between 20 into minus 2, which is minus 40 plus of minus 4. Now we are adding the numbers which are having the same sign. So add the two numbers irrespective of the sign, which is 40 plus 4, 44, and put the sign which is common to both, which is minus. So minus 44. So next, 150 into 3 into 0 divided by minus 30. So observe here in this bracket, 150 into 3 into 0 is 0 only, divided by minus 13. 0 divided by any number is also 0. So this is the fourth one. Next, third is write 4 pairs of integers a comma b such that a divided by b equal to minus 5. A divided by b is equal to minus 5. Like this, you have to find out 4 pairs of integers a and b. So we know that for this, first I am taking 5 into 1 is equal to minus 5. You can write this from minus, if you divide minus 5 with 1, you will get minus 5 with 1, you will get minus 5 here again. So a divided by is equal to minus 5 is proved here. Next, second example I am taking minus 5 into 2 is equal to minus 10. If you divide minus 10 with 2, you will get again minus 5. 2 5s are 10. If I am taking the third multiple of 5, which is minus 5 into 3 is equal to minus 15. From this, if you divide minus 15 by 3, you will again minus 5. So this is the third example. As a fourth example, I am taking fourth multiple of 5, which is minus 5 into 4 is equal to minus 20. If you divide minus 2 by 4, you will get again minus 5. So a divided by is equal to minus 5 is satisfying. And what are the numbers I am taking here? A and B pairs. So first pair A and B is minus 5 comma 1, second pair A and B is minus 10 comma 2, third pair is minus 15 comma 3, fourth pair is minus 20 comma 4, which will give always minus 5 as the quotient value. Next, in the Science Olympiad, 5 marks are given for each correct answer and minus 2 marks for each incorrect answer. Pankuri, this is the name of the candidate. Pankuri answered all the questions and scored 26 marks, though she got 2 incorrect answers. How many questions did Pankuri answer correctly? So for this first, we have to find out the unknown number which is correct answers as x. Let the number of correct answers you are taking as x. So always you have to take the unknown number as x here. So and the number of incorrect answers given that 2 in the last sentence, you see she got 2 incorrect answers. Number of incorrect answers is 2 is given. And marks given for each correct answers is 5. Therefore, the marks scored for correct answers is equal to number of correct answers into 5 is equal to x into 5, which is equal to 5x marks we got for correct answers. Next, marks given for each incorrect answers is given as is equal to minus 2, but the number of incorrect answers is equal to 2. So therefore, by multiplying the number of incorrect answers with the marks for each incorrect answer, which is 2 into minus 2 is equal to minus 4 marks. So and also given the total marks he got is 26. So 5x plus of minus 4. The total marks got for correct answers plus total marks got for incorrect answers is equal to 26. Is the total marks he got in the exam. So 5x plus of minus 4 is equal to 26 is given. Now we have to solve this equation, which is 5x plus of minus 4 is equal to 26. You can write it as 5x minus 4 because this is bracket. You can multiply the signs here, plus into minus minus. 5x minus 4 is equal to 26. Now if you transpose this minus 4 to the right side, it will become as 26 plus 4. Now 26 plus 4 is equal to 30. So 5 into x is equal to 30. Now you can write x is equal to, if you transpose this into 5 to this side, it will become as divided by 5. So 30 divided by 5 is equal to 5 6 are 30. Therefore x is equal to 6. What is the x here? Number of correct answers. So number of correct answers, x is equal to 6. So like this you can find out the number of correct answers. Next, going to the fifth one. The product of two integers is 156. If one integer is minus 4, find the other. So whatever the integer we don't know how to assume it as a unknown number p, and let the one of the number I am assuming it as p here, and the other number is minus 4 is given, that one of the integer here minus 4, and the product of two given numbers p into minus 4 is given, that 156 is also given. So minus 4 into p is equal to 156 is given. Now you can find out the other integer p here. So by sending this minus 4 to that side, transposing, it will become as 156 by minus 4. If you divide 156 by minus 4, you will get minus 39, because if you divide the numbers which are having different signs, you will get always minus here. So 4 into minus 39 is equal to 156. So p is equal to minus 39. Therefore other number p is equal to minus 39. Next, Rahul borrowed rupees 150 per month from his mother to pay for the art supplies he needed for an evening class. At the end of the course, he owed his mother rupees 600. How long was the course? So next, amount, coming to the solution, amount borrowed by Rahul from his mother is 150 rupees per month. At the end of the course, amount returned by Rahul is equal to 600. So duration of the course, you can find out the total amount divided by the amount per month. Total amount is 600. Amount per month borrowed is 150. So 600 by 150 is equal to 6 months. So duration of the course is 6 months, you will get. Okay, next, find out the answers. The submarine took 16 minutes to dive 96 meters from the surface. How far did it dive per minute? The submarine took 16 minutes to dive 96 meters from the surface. How far did it dive per minute? Next, a submarine took 12 minutes to climb back to the surface. How far did it climb per minute? So how can I find this? The distance dived by a submarine is 96 meters. Time taken to dive 96 meters is equal to 16 minutes. So distance covered by submarine in 1 minute is equal to total distance by total time taken. So which is 96 by 16, which is 6 meters. So 6 meters per minute he will dive. How far did it dive per minute? Means 6 meters per minute he dived. The next distance, same as this, you can find out this also. Distance climbed back by a submarine is equal to 96 meters. Time taken to climb back 96 meters is equal to 12 minutes, because distance dived into the water and climbed back both are same. I am taking 96 meters only here. So time taken to climb back 96 meters is equal to 12 meters, 12 minutes only. Coming back is time is very less. So distance climbed back by submarine in 1 minute is equal to total distance by total time taken, which is equal to 96 by 12, which is equal to 8 meters. So when he was climbing back, he is coming 8 meters per minute, but diving into the water only 6 meters per minute he is going. So that is the problem here. So next, just we are dividing the numbers here. Next, a scuba diver was collecting water samples from a sea. He collected samples at 5 meters intervals starting at 5 meters below the surface. He collected the final sample at a depth of 35 meters. How many samples did he collect? The distance between every interval to take the sample is 5 meters. The depth of final sample he taken is 35 meters. The number of samples he collected is equal to total depth by distance between each interval. It is 35 by 5, which is 7 samples he collected. So to describe this, I will draw a figure here. Observe here. A scuba diver was collecting water samples from a sea. So this is the sea level. This is sea level. So every 5 meters from the sea level, he is taking the samples like this, 5, 5, 5, 5 like this. Okay, this is 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters. For every 5 meters, he is taking one sample here, interval. So he collected the final sample at a depth of 35 meters. Somewhere here, 35 meters is the last sample he is taking. So how many samples did he collect means, so you have to divide the total distance by the each part of the distance he is taken. So 35 by 5 means he will get how many samples he got, you can find out. So 35 by 5 is 7 samples. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 samples he has taken. So for every 5 meters he is taking. This is 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters. 5, 7, the 35 meters is the last sample he has taken. So if you divide total distance by each subdivision distance, which is 5 meters, you will get the number of samples he has taken. So which is 35 by 5, which is 7 samples he collected. So next problem. If 28 times an integer is minus 532, what is the integer? If 28 times an integer is minus 532, what is the integer? So unknown value integer, I am taking it as p, let the integer is p. So 28 times of p is equal to minus 532 is given. So 28 times of p, I can write it as 28 into p, which is equal to minus 532. So to find out the p value, by transposing 28 to right side, you will get divided by 28. So into 28, if you transpose to the right side, it will become as by 28. So minus 532 by 28, which is minus 19. So the required integer is p is equal to minus 19. So next, the sum of two integers is 20. Dividing the larger integer by the smaller integer gives a quotient of minus 3. Find the two integers. Dividing the larger integer by the smaller integer gives a quotient of minus 3. Find the two integers. The sum of two integers is 20 is given. So by the second sentence, we can understand that one of the integer is larger than the another integer. Means one of the integer is larger integer and the other integer is smaller integer. So let I am taking the two integers of p and q. By the first sentence, we can write the sentence as the equation. The sum of the two integers is equal to p plus q is equal to 20. This is I am taking it as equation 1. So since dividing the larger integer by the smaller integer gives a quotient of minus 3, and also I am taking, let the larger integer as p and the smaller integer as q. I am taking this as the equation form, p divided by q is equal to minus 3, because dividing the larger integer by the smaller integer gives the quotient minus 3. P by q is equal to minus 3. So p by q is equal to minus 3 means if you cross multiply this, you will get p is equal to minus 3 into q, which is equal to minus 3q. P is equal to minus 3q you are getting from the second equation. So now you know what is p value in the form of q. So substituting this p is equal to minus 3q in the equation 1, okay, we can write minus 3q plus q is equal to 20. So now it has become the equation in single variable. So minus 3q plus q is equal to, you can write minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. So minus 2q is equal to 20. So by sending minus 2 to the right side, you will get q is equal to 20 divided by minus 2. So 2 can divide 20 10 times, so minus 10. Because the numerator and denominator are having different signs, you will get always minus sign. So q is equal to minus 10. So now you know what is the value of q here. You can find out p by substituting this q value in this one. So now p is equal to minus 3q. Therefore p is equal to minus 3 into q is equal to minus 10. I am substituting here minus 10. So by multiplying these two, minus into minus plus 3 times 30 plus 30. So now you know what are the values of p and q. So p is equal to plus 30, q is equal to minus 10. Therefore, the required two integers p and q are plus 30 and minus 10. So next, an aeroplane was flying at a height of 1800 meters. If it descends at a constant rate of 60 meters per minute, how long will it take to descend to a height of 300 meters? An aeroplane was flying at a height of 1800 meters. I will take a figure here. See here. So an aeroplane is flying at a height of 1800 meters. This is the horizon. So now it is the aeroplane path which is flying at a height of 1800 meters height. If it descends at a constant rate of 60 meters per minute, how long will it take to descend to a height of 300 meters? Means from the horizon earth, this is the 300 meters height. It is descending like this. Slowly it is descending at a descending speed of 60 meters per minute. Okay, like this it will come. So what will be the difference between these two distances? 1800 minus 300, which is 1500 meters. It came to up to the level of 300 meters. With the speed of 60 meters, what is given? 60 meters per minute. Okay, how can you find out the time taken by this plane to come to the 300 meters? That you have to, how long will it take? He is asking that how long will it take to descend to a height of 300 meters? How long will it take? Means from 1800 meters to 300 meters, how much time will it take to come to here with the speed of 60 meters per minute? So observe here, the initial height of the aeroplane is flying in the sky is 1800 meters. The descending rate of the aeroplane is 60 meters per minute. The final height of the aeroplane is equal to 300 meters. Therefore, the difference between the initial height and the final height is 1800 minus 300, which is 1500 meters. So the time taken by the aeroplane to descend to a height of 300 meters from 1800 meters is equal to height descended by speed. Height descended by speed. We know a formula which is time is equal to distance by speed. Formula is there. So how much distance it is traveled from 1800 to 300? 1500 meters it is traveled by speed is 60 meters per minute. 60 meters per minute it is. So if you divide this, you will get the how many minutes it is taken. 60, it cancelled. So now this is 6 2 12. So this 25 minutes it has taken to come from 1500 meters, 1800 meters to 300 meters level, which is the distance in between is 1500 meters. So So these are the problems from this exercise. So the next class I am going to ask you some oral quiz questions. Okay, or otherwise continue here. What is the additive inverse of -9 here? What is the additive inverse of -9? Additive inverse of -9 means if we add any number to this number, you should get 0. Which number you have to add to -9 here? +9. So then only 9 plus 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. Therefore, additive inverse of -9 is +9. Additive inverse of -9 is +9. See the answers here. +9. Next, how much less than -2? How much less than -2 is -7? How much less than -2 is -7? So observe here. How much you have to subtract from -2 to get -7? That you have to find out. How much less than -2 is -7 means how much you have to subtract from -2 to get -7 you have to find out. So take this expression, -2 minus x is equal to -7. How much you have to subtract? From -2 you will get -7. How much less than -2 is -7 you can find out. So minus x is equal to -7. If you send -2 that side, you will get +2, which is minus x is equal to -7 plus 2 is -5. By cancelling minus here, you will get 5. So -7 is 5 less than -2. -7 is 5 less than -2. So that is the answer here. So next, coming to the third one, what is the product of 9 negative integers? What is the product of 9 negative integers? How many number of negative numbers here? 9. So 9 is the odd number, so always you will get the negative sign only. So negative only. The product of 9 negative integers is always negative. So third answer is negative. So next, coming to the, what will be the product if any integer is multiplied its multiplicative inverse? What will be product? What will be the product if any integer is multiplied by its multiplicative inverse? So observe here, the multiplicative inverse is what? Reciprocal of the given number. Already we explained in the multiplication properties. So which is, for example, 7. If you multiply the 7 with its reciprocal or multiplicative inverse, always you will get 1. So 7 gets cancelled here, you will get 1 here. So what will be the product of, if any integer and its multiplicative inverse is 1? 1 is the answer. So what will you get if an integer is added to its additive inverse? What will you get if an integer is added to its additive inverse? So if I am taking 8, what is the additive inverse of 8 here? Plus 8. Additive inverse is -8. If you add, what is the question here? What will you get if an integer is added to its additive? If I am adding these two, you will get 0. So 0 is the answer. Next, square of any integer is positive. Is it true or false? Square of any integer is positive. Is it true or false? True. Why it is true here? Observe here, I am taking 2 here, plus 2, I am taking the square of this, which is equal to 4. This is also plus 4 only. If I take -2 also, -2 whole square also, you will get -2 into -2 is equal to minus into minus plus 2 2s are 4. Again you are getting plus 4 only. That's why square of any integer is positive. It is true. Okay. So next, write the smallest positive integer. Smallest positive integer is what? +1. Smallest positive integer is +1. Why? See, if you take integers, the set of integers, if you observe here, this is a set of integers, some -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3, you are writing here. We know that 0 is neither positive and nor negative. These are all negative numbers. The positive integers are only these. So what will be the smallest positive integer? Plus 1. So plus 1 only the smallest positive integer. So next, what is the absolute value of minus 11? Absolute value of minus 11, how to find this? You know that in the first class only. So writing this absolute value means modulus of minus 11. Always this is equal to irrespective of sign, which is plus 11 only. Absolute value of minus 11 is plus 11 only. Okay. So next, all integers are whole numbers. Is it true or false? All integers are whole numbers. Is it true or false? All integers are whole numbers. So take the set of integers first. So on minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, and so on. So the statement is what? All integers are whole numbers. And what is the set of whole numbers? You know that 0, 1, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 only. All whole numbers are integers, but all integers are not whole numbers, because whole numbers is the subset of the integer set. So therefore, all integers are whole numbers is wrong, because this is a subset. Whole numbers itself is a subset of integers. So all integers are not whole numbers, because minus 3, minus 2, minus 1 does not belong to the whole numbers. That's why all integers are whole numbers is wrong, false. Next, name the identity element of integer with respect to addition. Identity element of integer with respect to addition is what? By adding that number, always you should get the same number. With respect to addition, what is the identity element? 0 only. So 3 plus 0 is 0. Minus 2 plus of 0 is equal to minus 2. So 0 is the identity element with respect to addition. So this is the total chapter. Okay. Good day all of you.